Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Salute to the Sickos. My name is Marcus, and with me today is Matthew. Matthew, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good to hear. So let's jump right in like we always do and talk about how you got into wrestling.
Geez, I'm almost 50 years old, and I've been a wrestling fan since I was a little kid. Um, just I was more of a NWA and then WCW fan. Um, really, when I first got cable as a kid, and I got TBS, and I was able to watch, and it just kind of drew me in.
Okay. So let's talk about your personal favorites. If you want to give your Mount Rushmore, you can, but just tell me who were your favorite wrestlers growing up.
Uh, Sting, number one. Sting's still my favorite ever. Like I said, I've been following since I was a little kid. I used to get flat top haircuts because of Sting.
Okay.
He's definitely number one. Ric Flair. I get into arguments with people over Flair and Hogan. Who's better, and
Mm-hmm.
I love Flair. So those are guys that I liked since I was younger, and then now being a big AEW fan, I loved Cody. That's kind of how I got into AEW because of his response to Meltzer and having the first All In and then I met Cody twice, but I don't really watch WWE, so I don't really follow him much anymore. Hangman, Darby, Swerve, um, those are all guys I like now. Um, I've been a big
Mm-hmm.
Jericho fan ever since Jericho was a cruiserweight. So I just love the whole sport and spectacle of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you honestly, I was a huge Sting fan growing up. I'm in my mid 40s, and I was always big with him, Surfer Sting, and especially when he turned into Crow Sting. One day I hope to meet him and get an autograph, but I never can catch him at the right Comic Con conventions, so I'm not able to. But so do you have a favorite of all time match?
Uh, I don't think I can pick just one. There's so many good ones. Back in the day, um, you know, Sting and Flair for the title. Um, I'm sure a lot of people say Undertaker and Foley and Hell in a Cell. Um, you know, I didn't mention before that I love Will Ospreay, so a lot of Ospreay's matches from NJPW. Um, so those are some of the reasons that I can't pick just one.
Okay, I completely understand. So, how long have you been watching AEW? Have you watched it from the beginning? Did you jump in later, or
Oh yeah, I've been watching since day one. Um, like I said, the original All In, which technically isn't AEW, but I mean it's what started AEW. So
yeah?
ever since then.
Okay, that's
Uh,
that's that's a lot of time. I didn't get to watch the All In. I didn't know much about it. I didn't get pay-per-views at the time, and I wasn't sure who all those wrestlers were, so I didn't get it. But once they said Chris Jericho was on it and a couple others, I thought I'd give it a chance, and I ended up enjoying the first Dynamite.
yeah, I
So
remember hearing rumors that Jericho and Jim Ross were going to be part of a new promotion, and I was like, oh, I need to look into this and watch this, and then
yeah.
everything started coming out with the Bucks and Kenny and Tony
Hmm.
Khan, and everything came together.
Yeah, I remember their press conference day when
Yeah.
they had it outside, and Jericho came to talk, and Bum Bucks and everybody. It was a big deal, and I think that's the interjection that that the wrestling world needed was a alternative, and I think it's done great, really since. Can you kind of talk to me a little bit about, you've watched long enough about AEW? Can you tell me, what do you think AEW needs to work on a little bit?
Um, well, a couple things that I'm sure most people don't agree with me, but I feel like Tony has his favorites. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like FTR is always the in the background.
Mm-hmm.
They're either tag champs or they're the next ones to get the belt. And
Yeah.
same thing with MJF. I can't
Uh-huh.
stand either of them. I can't stand MJF and I can't stand FTR. And I know most people like both of them, or I guess technically all three of them. But
Yeah.
the same thing with MJF. He's champ, then he loses it, then he gets it back, then he loses it, then he gets it back. It's like there's at least a dozen other people that deserve a
Yeah.
championship. So put them in a feud for the championship. Stop
Mm-hmm.
having stop having the backup guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number one complaint. But
Okay.
that's
I
probably
kind of
my only complaint.
Yeah, that's kind of my complaint too. I wasn't really happy when MJF just got his title back after a month. I get it, but making him 3-time champion already kind of soured me a little bit. But I hope it's leading to him losing it at All In again, and then maybe he'll be done for a while with it.
Yeah, as long as he's done for a while.
Yeah, I agree. I think storyline right now it's working, um, but we'll see where it goes. Tell me, do you have an underrated wrestler that you want to see more of?
Um, there's some guys in Ring of Honor. I know Ring of Honor isn't technically like NXT is to WWE. Ring of Honor isn't technically like that, but there's
Yeah.
guys in Ring of Honor I would like to see move up
Mm-hmm.
to AEW. I really like um, Action Andretti. I like AR Fox. I know Fox has been around for a while, but I like the guys that kind of lucha style. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily like the big beefy guys. I like the guys that can do stuff like wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
The flips and the tope suicidas and all that, like really cool moves.
Yeah, I agree. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of people that are untapped talent that seem to be down in Ring of Honor or other places. Like, what do you know? I understand uh, that Athena wants to stay down there for a reason to run her school and stuff. I wish she would come up, but I don't know when she's going to drop her title and stuff. But yeah, I think they're
Yeah,
yeah.
I would have said her too, but I know that she wants to be there, so I'm not going to say I want her to move up when she doesn't want to herself. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. So, uh, a lot of things that go on in AEW in the works and stuff. We got a lot of pay-per-views and stuff. And stuff. But storytelling wise, how do you think AEW is doing?
honestly, I think they're doing great. I know there's a lot of detractors and a lot of people that don't like AEW and say that AEW doesn't tell stories, but I think if you pay attention, they tell stories.
Yeah.
Like this past Dynamite, um, the Bucks mentioned uh, or kind of alluded to the New Day. So
Mm-hmm.
if you pay attention and pick up on those things that the wrestlers allude to, they do tell stories. It
Yeah.
might not be blatantly obvious, but that's something that I like.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's movie series, 2 or 3 series, and in the second or third one they mention something that happened in the first one. I like that how they tie that stuff together, and I think AEW ties things together in that way.
Mm-hmm. So we talked a little bit about the title scene. How do you feel about others who have titles? You know, you mentioned the tag and the world, but how do you feel with the TNT, TBS, and all that? How are the other champions sitting with you?
Well, I love Willow. I'm sad that she had to give up the championship, but I hope she gets it back when she's healthy again. Um, the TNT championship, I like that a lot of wrestlers, not everyone, but a lot of wrestlers will have like the open challenge or something. So
Mm-hmm.
it's actually defended often on TNT. Um, so I like that. Ring of Honor, Bandito. I love Bandito, but I kind of wish somebody else would get the championship there, just because there are so many people on the roster that I would like to see hold a belt at some point.
Yeah. See, the whole Bandito thing, I think it would be interesting to have Swerve take that title from him. Because they had that feud, and it would be neat to have a star on his level be the champion for a little bit of Ring of Honor and give it more prestige as to where, when Jericho was on there, more eyes got on the product.
Yeah, exactly, and that I was just going to say that I think that would be a great idea to have somebody like Swerve. It wouldn't necessarily be a demotion; it would be him bringing that prestige to Ring of Honor and getting more people to watch Ring of Honor because of it.
Mm-hmm. Now, are there any wrestlers? There's a few wrestlers I have on a list. I'm like, Tony, why are you keeping them around for? You put them on TV, but they don't really go anywhere. Is anybody who say, why are we still here?
Well, I mean um, Keith Lee is kind of different than the previous question that you just asked about champions.
Yeah.
I don't really want Keith Lee to win a championship, but I would like to see Keith Lee on TV,
Mm-hmm.
and he hasn't been around in a while. Um, Honestly, there's probably people that I've forgotten about because they're not around anymore.
Yeah.
I do like that Tony doesn't fire people; he just lets people's contracts run out.
Yeah.
Like I liked the Righteous when they were with AEW, but
Mm-hmm.
he never really used them enough.
Yeah.
Um, and then he just let their contracts run out. The Butcher and the Blade. Um, I liked them as a team and as a kind of as a foil to people. Like I never really wanted to see them as champions, but I liked seeing them compete. And their contracts just ran out, so I like that he does it that way.
Yeah. I I agree. There are some others that I think really kind of. I wish. I think Britt Baker's contract will probably be ran out, and she won't be on there anymore. I thought I seen there was a vlog with Sammy Guevara saying that TJ may not be anymore, and maybe she's moving on. I don't know. But there was a title in it, but of course you know how his vlog work. He sometimes likes to pull twists like that. I haven't got to watch it yet, but uh, so what else do you think? Is there anything else that uh, Tony Storm is gone? There's a lot of people gone. Injury list that there are. Is anybody who you can't wait for them to return?
Well, Switchblade keeps hinting at it, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to him coming back because he's somebody that, like I mentioned, there's a dozen people that could be world champion. He's one of those guys that I would love to have be world champion. Um, you know, Tony Storm. They never said why she's not on TV, which is really none of our business. But also, I love her, so I can't wait for her to be back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, those are two people that I could think of. Um, I was looking forward to Mercedes coming back, and she did. She came back
Mm-hmm.
last week. So I'm kind of excited to see her story. Like
Yeah.
now that she's lost all of her belts, how is she going to build herself back up?
Yeah.
And I mentioned at the beginning that Hangman's one of my favorites, so I'm looking forward to him coming back. I'm kind of hoping that it's going to be at Redemption because he needs to get redemption. So like
Yeah.
subtle storyline type thing.
Yeah. I'm definitely ready for Hangman to definitely come back. I miss the guy, but I think a nice little break for him really
Well, he
helps
needed
him.
it, he deserved it,
He did.
but I can't wait for him to come back.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a different style of Hangman when he comes back. Uh,
Yep.
so AEW has grown a lot. I pinpoint 2025 when AEW turned over to HBO Max and stuff and started streaming as kind of a turning point. When did you see them turning the page from just another uh, average wrestling company to okay, now we're taking this seriously?
Well, I'd go a little bit before that. I think they got the streaming deal because they've shown enough that they were serious and they are actual competition. I think a lot of it was people turning down WWE to come to AEW.
Yeah.
So Switchblade, Will Ospreay, um, those guys that WWE wanted, and they were like, no, I'll go to this other guy too. I'll go there. I'd rather
Yeah.
go with the underdog. So I think it was probably maybe 24 that they had enough power, enough push that Warner Brothers was like, okay, we'll give you this streaming deal. We want to invest more in you.
Hmm. Yeah. I I really do. I think it was good to get out some of those ex WWE wrestlers who was there as stepping stone. MJF brought up Malachi Black in an interview. It's just
Yep.
the cancer is gone. There are people with a big head who didn't want to lose, and I think that's really turned the page. Where people are there's less ego in AEW now, whereas the CM Punks and stuff were there kind of for themselves.
Yep.
Uh, in a way, and now I think they're taking themselves more seriously, and the morale is back up.
Yeah. Well, I think Tony allows wrestlers to talk to him and come up with ideas together. And the guys like Malachi Black and CM Punk and I think even to an extent Andrade originally the first time kind of were like, well, I'm not listening to you. I've made it to the top. We're going to do it my way.
Hmm.
And they left, and I think Andrade kind of saw that the grass wasn't really greener, and got
Yeah,
fired, and whatever happened legally with all that stuff and personally and all that. I think he was able to go back to Tony and be like, okay, I'll do it your way.
yeah,
Um, but Punk and Malachi, I think they kind of burned bridges.
yeah. I can kind of see that too and stuff. I like to you mentioned about creativity and stuff. I think there's a lot of wrestlers out there who Tony gave a little bit of leash and they took it a long way. I really like Leo Rush and what he's doing. Are there any gimmick wrestlers out or anybody had a spotlight who said, okay, you gave you got the ball and now they're running with it?
Well, like you mentioned, Leo, I'm excited to see where that's going to go. I think he's doing a great job with that. Um, I think I think Darby. Darby started out kind of from nothing, and he only had a month long championship run, but it was kind of like, all right, you deserve this. I'm going to give you the championship.
Hmm.
So he has shown that he deserved it. I really like Jack Perry. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people think he's kind of like you know a comedy wrestler or he only got where he is because of his dad. But I think that he's evolved. I think he did a good job with the scapegoat gimmick.
Yeah,
And now he's kind of back to half Jungle Boy, half scapegoat
yeah,
with this Jungle Jack Perry, and I think he's evolving very well. I
hmm
don't think he's made it to deserving of a world championship yet, but you can see his evolution from when it first started.
yeah. I I agree. I agree. So, what I like to do as a last parting comment is to give you a chance to kind of promote yourself if you have anything out there, or just anything that you would like to say to the AEW fandom, or just incoming people from WWE who said I've had enough. What can I look forward to in AEW?
I think that's where I want to focus on the people that want to finally give AEW a chance, and I I say do it. AEW reinvigorated my love for wrestling. Um, I watched WWE because it was the only thing out there after they had bought WCW. The only big promotion out there. Um, and then I kind of watched highlights and stuff of NJPW to get my fix. And now AEW is it just kind of brought back my love for wrestling in general.
Yeah,
So I definitely think people should give it a chance. Give it a couple of weeks. Give it a from one pay per view to the next pay per view type thing, and actually see the storylines that they develop. Pay attention to the subtleties. Pay attention to what they allow their wrestlers to do, and I think you'll love it.
yes, I I really do believe that it's grown a lot. It's coming around. I think a lot of WWE fans are like, why am I still watching this product when I don't like it? It became routine, and now they found something else. So I am I am glad for AEW that it came around, because without it, I wouldn't be watching wrestling right now.
Right, I agree.
So I thank you for coming on the show. I know we had a hard time connecting, but we we got it done, and I hope to be able to talk to you again soon. Thank you much.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too.